DAV, welcome to DAV Patriot Boot Camp. Joined here today by someone who's a great proponent for his fellow veteran entrepreneurs, Army veteran Ray Antonino. Ray has been a part of the DAV Patriot Boot Camp community since before it was a DAV entity. He's succeeded tremendously in his own life. The founder, CEO, and Chief Expectations Officer, right?
Yeah, that's it. Chief Expectation Setter.
Chief's Expectation Center, trademark pending, for his own company. He's done a great job, but one of the things Ray is particularly good at is pitching. It's the ability to communicate your business, what your business does, and to lead strategically to the results you want, which are usually funding, partnerships, things like that. Ray, tell me, what is it that brings you back again and again to DAV Patriot Boot Camp?
Yeah, I'd just say that what Patriot Boot Camp did for me early on in my journey, back in the 2015, 2016 era, it gave me all the resources, mentorship, and the early steps, the building blocks of building the company that I've since gone on to build over the last 8 years.
And you've been very good at pitching. I know you don't like to brag, but I don't know anyone who's done better. Can you talk about some of the success you've had as a pitch?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I've won at South by Southwest pitch event. I've won at the Atlanta Startup Battle, which was $100,000 there, and other ones. New York School of Tandem Business School, pitched there and won. Just won a lot of different competitions. Bunker Labs, you name it.
Do you have a funding total?
$285,000, though I don't know if I want the government to hear that.
We'll keep the IRS out of this. I know they got a few veterans that care. So one of the things you do is you talk about how intentional you need to be in the pitch process. What are some quick tips that you could give just for someone who's trying to sell an idea?
Well, the first thing is just distilling down what's the most important, but yet at the highest level. The most important thing is that somebody has an understanding of what you even do, the business you're in, who your customers are. I look at everybody as an opportunity through the lens of being a walking billboard. And so I need for them to leave with an understanding of what does this person actually do, and not in the weeds of everything. Think of it like an onion. You can't take down the onion all at one time, one petal at a time, and just allow that conversation to unfold by starting at the highest level.
That's awesome. One of the things that DAV does with the event, and it's been going on throughout the history of the event, is pitch contests, where we sit people down, and Ray's been a huge coach, a big coach, a friend to veterans who are participating in pitch contests, and we'll have one here tomorrow on Friday. But those contests are more than just the funding that comes with them. It's about the training, the resources, and hopefully, the funding helps. But it's more about getting people prepared, and even the people in the audience benefit from that. Can you tell us, why do you think that contests like that are important?
Well, they get people out of their comfort zone, number one. They get to see whether you're the least of all the performers or the people that are giving their presentation, or you're the best. You get to see various ways of presenting your case, your business model. You have an opportunity to earn people in the audience to have conversations after the fact. Just so many things that come of it.
A lot of people are good at a lot of different things, and because you're a great engineer or a great information technology professional, doesn't necessarily mean that you're an extrovert or how do you work with people who just are terrified at the thought of pitching?
Well, start by talking about the things they know they're exceptional at. And I like to get people down in the niches. There's an old saying that the riches are in the niches. And so if I can get them to the niche of which they're really good at and they know it, then from there we can kind of help blossom them to be comfortable to speak. But it does come from being intentional to be uncomfortable.
When you're doing your class, which I love, you do Rock the Pitch. It's such a great class. Part of that's preparing for a presentation where you have your PowerPoint, you have your slides. What are some of the tips you give? And one of them that I've always thought was interesting it sounds kind of counterintuitive to some people is don't use video. Can you talk about some of your tips?
Well, I got a lot of them I've learned over the years, but clearly videos and animations can haunt you. They work well on your computer. As soon as they end up on somebody else's system, things can go south pretty quickly. And if you're a founder that is relying on that video or the animations and whatnot, and it's not there, it will be jarring in that experience, and it will just take away from the opportunity that you're being presented with to pitch. So I always encourage against them. At some point, but there's a lot of other wonderful things, though, that are more important. I would say that the key thing is less words. There should be no more than 7 words on that slide deck, especially if you're presenting in start of larger audiences. Getting to images that support what the messages is that you're trying to convey is a very important thing as well.
That is so awesome, Ray. I like I said, I love your class, but not to put you on the spot, but I've put you on the spot. Tell me about permits.com.
Well, we very fortunate. It actually came of an application we built to grow our construction company. Somebody said, well, what differentiates it? And we had this little permitting thing that helped us to identify if we needed permits and so forth. And one day somebody said, you have a tech startup. I didn't even know what the heck that was. And fortunately, because of Patriot Boot Camp, I was enlightened to what it meant. And here we are today. Permits.com helps contractors to get construction permits nationwide. We created an automated and standardized process for those contractors to do it.
I love it. I love especially when you go into your own company, because you see the distillation that's taken place over a lot of iterations. Any other quick tips that someone might need, whether they're selling a company or an idea?
The key is you have to remember that it's your responsibility to earn your audience's attention 30 seconds at a time. You owe it to yourself, as much as the people in front of you, that you take the time to practice, distill that message. It's never a perfect pitch. It's dynamic. Know your audience, because it will change. But if you've taken the time to really get the core of the pitch down, the rest will unfold naturally.
That's awesome. And this is a family affair for Ray. Rebecca's around the corner here. We're not going to embarrass her because she'll kick me in the shins. But I mean, can you? Rebecca's always been a great person to be here. How do you interact as a couple when you're in the founder game?
So we've established some strong barriers early on. Both of us had backgrounds that allowed for us to understand where we needed to live within our respective parts. But at the end of the day, it's business, and there's one leader. Decisions have to be made. Now, at 5 o'clock, that leader switches gears, and it's somebody totally different with a whole different view on life. I don't get to talk any business after 5 o'clock. But before that, we've worked together well because of our experiences in the past and just knowing where our strengths are, but also being respectful to the fact that there has to be one leader. We also want to project ourselves with the rest of our team that this is not a family business. This is a business that happens to have a husband and a wife that have founded that company. That's how we like to look at it.
That's great. One of the things that Ray does that is the heart and soul of this program this program could not happen without the community that's behind it, and a huge part of that, beyond even the presenting, is the mentorship. And you come out here time and time and time again, and you keep donating your time 3-4 days 3 or 4 times a year. Why do you work so damn hard on this program?
Well, like I said, it did a lot for me in my early days, and I'm a big fan of the give first, in this case, give back. I witnessed my journey. I've built 3 companies. My first company, what it was like to be the person who always took, never did anything for others, and when ultimately it failed, I didn't have anyone around. And that led me to rethink the way I look at life and the way that I look at most of the things I do. And I like to genuinely live by finding ways to give back from where I can. I think of it like this. If we say, if I win $1 million, what would I do with it, right? Well, what can I do today without the $1 million that actually brings value toward that thing I would love to do? And that's how I look at it with DAV.
Ray, thank you so much for all you do for the program. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have an expertise, if you have something you can lend, please consider becoming a mentor and volunteer. If you're a veteran, and I mean, we hear time and again that it's a very rewarding thing for folks to get involved in, and we need mentors all the time. You can register at patriotbootcamp.org, and also consider reaching out to someone who may benefit from this program and let them know about it. We have another program coming up in October in Washington, D.C., and it can be transformative. I know we'll see Ray there. Thank you all. Keep tuning in and visit patriotbootcamp.org and find a way you can give back.